Welcome back, you sadistic, twisted people, to another episode of Turbo's Torch. This is the show that holds no punches, no topic is taboo. This is Tiger Turbulence, uncensored, unleashed, and turning the torch up on SFA identities. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we opened up the hot seat with Cadsky. And as is as contestants' right, they can throw down the challenge for the next person to sit in the hot seat. Well, Cads was hungry. He wanted some grilled cheese. So introducing from the West Coast Wonders, their co-captain, Mobs medalist and Eka winner, the Quiddy player with a big cheesy grin. Welcome, damicky.
How you going, Turbo?
I'm going very well. How are you?
Good, good. You remembered my awards. That was fantastic.
Well, you get them. You got to show them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not bad. And what do you prefer, the Mobs or the Eka?
Probably the Eka, because that was voted by others. And we've all heard recently, obviously, about how undeserving I was of winning the Mob. So that's another story, isn't it?
We'll probably need to talk about some of that corruption in the system.
Yep.
And the other good thing with the Eka is you can only win it once, unless you're Sturge. He's won it a couple of times. But
Well, Sausage Roll's still trying to win his first after how many seasons?
True. Righto, damicky. You know how it works. I ask the questions, you answer. No padding, no bullshit. Just get it to us raw and honest, or I'll turn up the torch and start to melt you. Now, Cheese, have you been prepped for any of the questions I'm about to ask?
Unfortunately not.
I did notice that in the post for this show, you questioned the fact that you hadn't got any questions. Did you actually expect to get a list of questions?
Nah, it was more to do with the old me pretending that I was negotiating a contract with you, that I thought, I could maybe demand the questions as well, but I didn't think that would happen.
So you're trying to be humorous?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it didn't work, mate.
No.
Righto.
Went
Now,
down like a lead balloon.
yeah. Now, have you signed the form from Barely Legal that removes me from any responsibility for any long-term or permanent injury you may have received by being on this show?
I did, but I couldn't read the fine print, but I'll trust you on this one.
It's deliberately at 0 font size, so you can't. Righto. damicky, are you ready?
Yes, go for it.
Time starts now. Now, Cadsky wanted you in here. I sense some underlying, unresolved sexual tension between you two. What's the current relationship with you two right now?
To use the old Facebook status, it's complicated.
So why do you think he wanted you on the show?
I think deep down he still does love me, but I don't know, maybe he wanted you to open up the can of worms of how I ended up at the Wonders. Perhaps, I don't know. But yeah, I think he obviously wanted to put me under the griller, see if you could melt me, I guess.
Righto, let's see if we can. Now, you started season 32 at the Demons.
No.
When did you start?
Season 32 with your Mob for 7 games.
But weren't you at the Demons for 11 games?
Yeah, 7 games with you, and then I left in that infamous mid-season trade.
Ah, right.
Do you remember now?
No, I remember. You come across. So why did you leave us after 7 games? Was it T. Jester, Basti, Greenery?
It was... I posted somewhere when they were talking about the mid-season trade that I'd be interested in moving, and I got pretty close with Callum's Guns, and he sort of convinced me to go over there, and then there was a little bit of should I, shouldn't I sort of thing.
So were the Furies doing the e-girl shit in the season? No, that was the season.
That was still your Kittens time back then.
Ah, good. It's when it was respectable.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're disappointed. I'm surprised that after 7 games you would have given that up. I mean, we had a good spot in the dumpster for you. Our rookie program was second to none.
In hindsight, and I think I've said this before, I do regret how I handled things. I probably should have stuck around a little bit more than the 7 games, but, someone
Someone offered you some incentives, didn't they?
Yeah, well, someone...
What sort of sweet shit did Callum Gunn say to you? What did he promise you?
Oh, it wasn't anything too great. It was more just, you know, they were going to give me a little bit more love than what I thought I was getting at the Furies.
All right, can you see this doll? Point to the areas where Callum Gunn's touched you.
It was below the knee, so it was okay.
So, all right, so you got enticed out of the Furies after 7 games, and as a rookie, you really didn't know much. So you sort of were probably... And it shows a lack of form on the Demons' part to be, you know, targeting at someone after 7 games from a club, really. You Demons, you need to sort that shit out. Anyway, so you got to the Demons. You only did 11 games with them.
Yep.
Why'd you get away from Mount Buller?
Well, unfortunately, the season that I was there, or the half a season I was there, Headless wasn't really around too much. I think if he was around more, I probably would have stayed there. But Cadsky,
that's the reason why you'd stay. Why'd you get out of there, though? What happened at Mount Buller? Tell us.
So before the whole Demons thing happened, Cadsky, or Moz as he was then known, and I'd prefer to refer to him still as Moz, he was already into me about going to the Wonders. And he did offer me a box of tricks.
So basically you were getting groomed left, right and centre. Every time you went to a team, someone else groomed you. Did you ever have a loyalty in your head, like, well, I'm being a slut, I need to stop, otherwise I'm going to get a reputation?
Yeah, at that time I probably didn't know enough about it to, like, now I look back and I'm like, I did the wrong thing a couple of times, but yeah, at the time I was like, I'll just go where I feel like I'm going to get appreciated the most.
So you're after being stroked?
Pretty much.
And so what did Cadsky, or Moz as he was then, what did he do to... How did he stroke you? Was it like a backhand, forehand, he swap hands? What happened?
He just PM'd me a lot. We had a PM that went for about 87 pages, I think it was, at the time. So we were talking quite regularly, and he offered me a LG position and whatever position on the field.
Position? You're a rookie?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Oh, Cadsky, you bloody... Oh, seriously, you don't even let a rookie just learn the ropes before you put him into leadership.
And then he made me co-vice captain with every Fury's best friend, Brenton Davey was my co-vice captain, and we were both in our second season.
So did Cadsky send you nude pictures or anything? Like, were you doing dick shots and stuff?
No, none of that stuff. No.
It sounds bad when you talk.
Did he send them to you?
No. Does it sound bad to you that you look back on your time as a rookie and realise you're just a slut?
An Echo-winning slut, though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Did you wouldn't? Oh, was that rigged as well? Was that part of the deal for going across?
Well, there is a little bit of conjecture about that, because obviously...
Oh, there's a lot of conjecture around you.
because Moz obviously, or the Wonders, gave me, I think, maximum votes, and obviously I was already sort of
so it was fixed.
In the door.
Your fucking Mobs medal and your Eka medal were both fixed.
Well, I only found out something about the Mobs medal when Moz, as I'll call him, was talking about it. I thought
he wasn't talking about it. I was talking to him about the scoring, and it was obviously bullshit when you were getting your 3 votes, and players who were far better than you on the day were getting nothing. If you had to go to another team, because you're obviously a slut that likes jumping around, say you had to leave the Wonders because
this is my 3rd season. I'm loyal.
Yeah, nah. Your time's coming. But if you had to go to one of the few teams you haven't played for right now, which team would it be and why?
I know you'll find this a bit weird, but one day I'd probably like to play with the Bombers, because they were very supportive of me when I had a hard time from the Nerd Club.
Do you think that you could be a Bomber? You're a bit soft cheese. You're more like a Camembert, you know. You're not hard cheese. You're not cheddar.
I reckon with their support I could do it.
I don't know. Eating cheese in the desert, the sand, all that.
No, I don't like sand in my cheese.
So, all right. Well, the Bombers. Do you actually have a good relationship with the Bombers then? Like you look at the group that are there and go, yeah, they'd love me, they'd want me. Would they actually want you?
I don't know what I should say, but there may have been a time. I think I mentioned to you in the when I was at the Furies that I got a message from Bat when I was only a few games into my career.
Yeah, but Bat fucking, and same as Blue, don't they go around trying to fucking predator everybody. Like right now at the Bombers,
yeah.
Who do you rate then as players that you get on with? Not players you think boast. Who are the players there you actually get on with?
I love Pugsley. We get on really well.
Oh, Ligma hated Pugsley.
Yeah.
She probably.
Yeah, I get on really well with Pugsley. Obviously, I got on well with Robertio when he was a thing, but he's with you lot now.
He's at the old boys. He saw the light of day. He understood. He had an opportunity, and he's just raised his position in the SFA now. He owns a Guinness bar. Well, you seen what's happened to the Bombers lately? They've bloody lost every player. They're all going to ban. You've been to Banhammer Prison?
No, I haven't. We did play them last week.
Have you got a tattoo? So you haven't got a prison tattoo?
No.
Well, how the hell do you think how are you going to play for the Bombers then?
I'll just have to start sharing some naughty gifts.
So don't believe the Bombers would want you, and I don't think you got the capability
maybe the
of being...
What do you reckon about the Oobs?
Well, you're enough of a knob to be an old boy. Absolutely. You get away with that. And actually, cheese would work all right. So anyway, let's go.
Yeah, go.
Wonders. We'll get back to your own team.
Yes.
They're doing all right at the moment, and you blokes are really fighting for that top end of the ladder, so you're definitely going to be there when we get to the finals. I don't think there's any chance he is missing out. So arguably probably one of the best finishes for some time, I would say, with you guys. So who are the players at the Wanderers that have impressed you? And I'm talking on field. I'm talking about game wins here. Who are the players at the moment at the Wanderers that are driving this winning culture?
Oh, they've got a pretty good ruckman. Damicky, he's doing quite well.
You're number one at the moment for hit-outs?
Yeah, I'm
underneath
number
Wiggs.
one in a few categories for ruck. So
well, you better watch it because Wiggs is going with a bullet. He's come from about 6th or 7th 3 weeks ago, and he's now number 2. He is really driving hard.
I've got to get that all SFA spot. I've been robbed the last 2 seasons, so I'm definitely going for it this year.
Well, a good thing with the SFA ruck side is it is hit-outs, basically. If you can get the most hit-outs, and you obviously post and you do your thing, so if you can get the hit-outs, you'll be all SFA ruck, which is, I would say, probably the most prestigious all SFA position in the SFA.
It would be, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Frothies, my captain, he's been killing it the last couple of weeks in the full forward spot. He's gonna win the Fred for us.
Is he? Where's he on the ladder?
He's right up there.
Goals, we have Broken on 40 and Frothy on 40.
Yep. But he's kicked 20 or 21 in the last couple of weeks, or 2 of the last 3 weeks he's kicked like 10s and 11s. So he's on a run.
Now I've got Hate's Wonderful Workup. I'm looking Wonders. There's damicky. You are a slut. They're rigging it again, you bastard. In disposals and bloody in the DTs. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm doing all right.
And the only other player you got those Frothy.
Frothy's doing all right, and then a couple of our season 33 rookies doing pretty well. An Ultimate Resi and Cubs to Lions, they're doing really well, both on and off field.
What I am happy, I'm just looking at that list, is there's not as many Gumbies on there. Did you see last season how many Gumbies are on the DTs and the disposals?
Gumbies should be kicked out of the comp.
I agree, but there was half of the disposals and half of the dream teams were Gumby players, and I kept looking at going, there's something wrong with the mix when there's 13 teams, and out of 10, half of them can be Gumbies in the major stat area. There's something wrong with that.
And hardly any of them post.
Exactly right. It's bloody disgusting. Righto. We've talked about who's successful in your club. Who are the anchors that are actually causing you the problem? The ones that aren't performing and potentially could cost you the grand final. Name names. You need to shame them now so that they can start to pick up their training regime and actually maybe, get there. Who are they?
Yeah. Oh, Crowy be right up there. He does very little.
Is he a lazy prick? What's he doing? Does he train?
No, he reckons he doesn't need to because he won an ECA 37 years ago.
Oh, he's one of them, is he?
Yeah. So he's lazy. Jezza J, he turns up every sort of 6 weeks and hardly see him in between. So
actually, I'm just having a look at some of the stats on your boys. Rioli to Rioli.
well, he's a newie, yeah.
He looks like he's a lazy prick, though. He's not pulling his weight.
He's too busy focusing on Richmond. I don't know why he's worried about them.
Actually, he spends a lot of time in the Richmond thread. I see him posting there a fair bit. So he's.
Have you heard how we recruited him?
No.
No. So Wash accidentally tagged Rioli to Rioli instead of Rioli 8217.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a bit like the Tony story that I've heard about.
All right, eh?
Yeah.
Excellent.
So he got accidentally tagged, and then he's like, "What's this all about?" And we convinced him to sign up.
And what about Jezza J?
Jezza J is a good bloke. He's pretty busy in real life, so he pops in when he has time. But there's not too many that sort of letting us down.
Or what about Sunshine?
Oh, well, we've taken him out of the team because he's been unsighted.
Yeah, good. I was going to say, yeah, that's just waste of time.
Yeah. We've got a few that sort of haven't turned up much this season.
Right, you and Frothies are co-captains. So
you love co-captains.
I'm a big fan of it. Why do the Wanderers have the Tasmania captaincy model at 2 heads? Now, I'm thinking it's because you're not capable of leading a club on your own and you need someone to hold your hand. Is that correct?
Pretty much, yeah. That way, if something goes wrong, I can blame him.
Honestly, and you know, I've made it quite clear, you can only have one. There can only be one. I'm a Highlander captain. If you want to take captaincy, you've got to cut the heads off the others. So I look at you and I go, how can you both be captains? You can't beat 2 captains.
Well, I'm the real captain. I just asked him if he wanted to sort of pretend.
But why? Why do you need the crutch? Is it because you haven't played much? You're still sort of
I needed someone with a bit more experience to help me out.
And so how does he help you?
Well, he doesn't really.
No.
We don't even talk much, to be honest.
So what's the point?
I might get rid of him.
Well, you just make him the vice captain. Do you have a vice captain?
I could have done that.
Do you have an actual vice captain as well?
Not this season, no. We just got the
2 co-captains.
Co-captains, and then we've got a fairly inexperienced leadership group.
So if Profi does fuck all, why don't you just bump him down to LG, and also use VC as a tool to keep someone in your club?
Yeah.
So, and pick out someone who's been in enough seasons to be able to be potentially a new captain going on. So who would that be, you think?
I mean, someone that hasn't been with us for long, but he's returned to the Sweet FA after many years out, is Harpsichord. He's really getting into it again. I don't know whether you knew him from the old days, but Harpsichord was the guy that we brought in, and Moz decided that there wasn't enough room for him in the club anymore.
I remember, talking about the leadership and you now looking at maybe getting some kahunas and stepping up and actually being the club captain. I remember when you came to the Furies and you were a lovable, wide-eyed, friendly fellow, and you were very open in PMs and you were very inquisitive. You want to engage with people. Would that be correct? Yeah.
Here we go.
No, I'm not setting you up anything here, but you were excitable and you were really keen.
Yeah.
And everybody that's brought in rookies knows that's not always what you get. So when you do get that, it's a great thing because you know you can build on that. I mean, and look at you now. You're still playing. You're now pseudo leading a club. But that's all because when you started, you had that little fire inside you, which is good. You're only into your 4th season, so you haven't done a lot of time. Now that you're captain, do you feel that you need to post differently or try and play a different persona because you've got a different role now?
The persona hasn't changed too much, but it's probably more, trying to bring others into the conversation, and that's what I sort of try and I think that's what captain should be doing, is trying to get the team, particularly those that they mightn't have posted for a while, try to tag them and get them into the get them part of the conversation in the match threads and that. So
absolutely, your job is to make sure that the
keep them
PMs
engaged,
and the media threads and the team events are all engaged with people. So have you had to, as captain, discipline anyone or have a chat with someone because they're either doing something which is not quite right or there's some friction in the club between certain players and all that? Have you had to, as a captain, take on that role?
Not really. No, we're quite a different bunch, but we don't try. We're not like a Bombers where everyone's got to, be the same. We're happy with different personalities and different styles, and everyone gets on pretty well, to be honest. There was an incident recently where one of our opponents was unhappy with something that was posted by one of my team. I won't obviously go into details of who or what, but I did PM the person involved and sort of just say, that's probably not where we should be heading with the conversation. So, but yeah, most of the time it's pretty cruisy at the Wonders. Everyone sort of just does their own thing and gets on pretty well.
Have you ever had to occasionally you see a post from an opposition team or a post about one of your players and you felt the need to step in as captain to sort of say, hey, this is not right and this is what, and sort of stand your ground, protect your club or protect your teammates? Not
greatly, maybe once or twice, but,
Oh, you blokes. Obviously the Wanderers aren't fucking agitating enough then.
No, I don't.
Because as captain, you should be bloody putting out bushfires all the time. Your players should be bloody upsetting shit around the SFA, and you should be how many PMs do you get from the chief and from KennedyParker and captains whinging about your team or your players? Do you get many of them?
No.
Oh, for fuck's sake. No wonder the SFA is going down the gurgler and getting boring. You need to activate your teammate. Get them out there.
You reckon we're too friendly?
You can't have everybody being friendly. That's not how this game works. Wouldn't you agree? If everybody just wanted to kumbaya each other and cuddle and hug and talk about how good it is, how many of us are going to stay? I mean, it's about banter, and banter is all about pulling the piss and, making fun. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, but if you do it in the right spirit, then it shouldn't spill over to... Mate, Chief shouldn't have to be getting involved too much.
But we need to go to edges, and it's like, the Bombers, they agitate to a really high level, although they're dropping off. Now, the Oob, our model is similar to them in the sense of wanting to be on the right side, the far right, and agitate, and we're the old boys. The whole thing is sexist and, misogynist. That was the whhole point. And then you got teams on the far side.
And you got girls playing for you as well.
Yeah, but that's the fun of it. That's the ridicule part of it, which is why it's tongue-in-cheek. Yeah. But then we got, obviously, teams like the Wanderers, your soft cocks down the left side, where you're just all nice and peaceful. And who do you fight? Who are the teams? Who are the teams you don't? Who are the teams you don't like? Who are your enemies? Oh God, you don't even know. We've got a list of them. Fuck.
We've got the Bears. The Bears would be the team I don't like to play against the most, but
I think that's the same for everybody. And why is that? Just name his name. Say it. Come on, say it.
Melt, Mr. Melt.
Right. Excellent.
You made me say the name.
And you said you weren't going to mention him. I knew he'd come out.
Super Sons would be the other one.
Actually, my next question was, and this is serious on my sheet, if you could get any player from any other team to the Wanderers to bolster your side, why would it be Super Sons? You got in early. So what's the problem with Super Sons? What don't you like about him?
No, he's got a problem with me.
Oh, the problem's with him.
From the start, I don't know.
Why?
He doesn't like cheese? Maybe we should get him on next.
Did you try and talk to him? Because you're the sort of guy I reckon would almost, like me, I just tell them to fuck off if they're a dickhead. But I think you're the sort of guy that would like to, I don't know, appease, get them to like you. So you would have tried that with Super Sons. What happened? What went wrong?
He just didn't want a bar of it, and I let it go. So.
But how did the initial crossover, there must have been an incident.
I think he had a problem with me tagging him and having a bit of fun with him. It was mainly regarding Tarks. You know how Tarks used to have Super Sons was his best friend, and Super Sons had Tarks was his best friend. So when I was at the Demons, Tarks used to tag Super Sons, and then I tagged him a few times, and he got the shits about that, and yeah, it all went from there. So
did he PM you and tell you to piss off, or did he do it in the public forum?
no, more in the public forum. I don't think we've even. I don't remember us ever PMing each other at all. So it was all just in the public forum.
So, do you think you'll ever get on with him, or it's just that's it, job done?
I've given up. I've given up now. Obviously, I liked it when he wasn't around last season, and then this season, fortunately, when we played against the Bears a couple of weeks ago, we avoided each other. So I'm happy if that's the way it's going to be.
Righto. State of Origin. Is that a thing?
State of Origin is a thing. I played for I won't say a state because the Allies isn't really a state, but I played for the Allies despite being a born and bred Victorian. But I believe it's coming back in the mid-year, and I'm hoping to work with Dingster to get the Allies up and about.
So you reckon it will be a thing?
Well, we've been told in the committee that it's going to be back in the mid-year.
Righto. I like State of Origin. I'm not against it, but what it takes is a lot of work, because obviously you've got to get captains and you've got to pull the PMs together, and then you've got to sim the games and all the rest. It's a hell of a lot of work, but I like it because of the fact that you get people integrating in teams that normally wouldn't, and then you actually start to get a little bit of cohesion with players that you may not have necessarily had much to do with.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason, I guess, why I don't have an issue with people changing clubs, because I think it's great that you get to post with different people and all that sort of thing, but obviously, probably not best to, in your rookie season, maybe play for two clubs and then start a third club in your second season.
As co-captain, fuck. Do you spend much time in the committee room? Or does Frothy spend time?
No, I'm the main committee person. He's the backup person.
He's the backup person.
Yeah, but not much happens in there at the moment. So
what you're establishing then is you really are the captain. Frothy's just got the title.
Well, yeah, I sort of just asked him if he wanted to share the title with me, I guess.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Piss him off.
But he does a pretty good review of our games occasionally when he gets around to it.
That's not a captain's job. That's someone under a captain's job. Fuck,
We should get
you
the
delegate.
to do that.
The reason you're a captain is you delegate.
Who do you service the most? Bonds. Bonds needs servicing, apparently.
Well, yeah, but he's very tiring. He takes a lot of servicing. A hell of a lot of servicing. But we've got a number of... we got dogs, we got cats, we got chimps. We're very diverse at Oops. Keeping that menagerie.
You do have an interesting bunch there.
Yeah, and I've been really pleased. Like, you've met Over the Post, the chimp?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty happy with him. He was a cold call recruit that I got.
Was Over the Post to do with Lynchy's kick over the post last season, or was he already over the post?
He would have been over the post before that. But he was a cold call.
That's what I think of every time I see his name come up.
But the reason I asked him on was because of his head, the monkey.
Yeah.
And I just went, I could do with one of them in our team picture. So I was picking people based on their avatar.
That's a good idea, actually.
And the same as Fleabane. Yeah. She had that poodle head, the dog. Yeah. And I went, wow. And what's great is, though, I brought them in, and they've done well. Like, they love it. They're in the SFA, and they play their persona. So, anyway, get in that committee room. Fuck, get off this topic.
Let's talk about how wonderful the Oobs are, eh?
Oh, everyone knows that.
We don't need to go on about that any longer.
Oh, we're good. And I really love it.
We could go on for hours about that.
Well, the Filthy Wizard said we're going to fold in 3 seasons when we first came up because we're so unpalatable. All the experienced players are going to leave, blah, 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 blah. So I know I've only got another season left with them, so I'm trying to really enjoy it while I can. Now, committee room.
Hang on. You got another season left?
Yeah, because we're in our 2nd season. So
and then you're going to fold?
Apparently, because all the experienced players will leave and no one will like our name.
I thought you meant you were leaving.
Well, all I know is what Phil said. In 3 seasons, it's all...
Well, he knows everything, so...
Exactly right. I'm running with it. So we're enjoying every moment we got. Now, What are contentious or hot topics in the committee room? Because I don't go in there, and obviously Wiggs doesn't tell me shit because he's always on the piss, enjoying himself. So you tell me.
Well,
What's
like I
going
said
on?
earlier, there's really not much goes on in there, to be honest. It's pretty boring, to be frank with you. But the only agitator that gets in there really is Tiff. Tiff loves causing a bit of trouble, but since the season started, there really hasn't been much banter in there at all. Big news was about the KP's got this formula or some program for collecting posting stats. That's about the excitement that goes on at the moment.
God, I can see why I chose not to be a committee rep.
Yeah.
You have been described as constantly unfunny, that is borderline impressive. Do you accept that accolade?
It worried me at the start how people thought about me, but these days I don't let it worry me anywhere near as much. Obviously, Mr. Sons, we talked about before, constantly says how boring I am, how, he doesn't rate me as a poster, all that sort of thing, which, that's great if that's how he feels. But, I've had a lot of good relations, I suppose, built up with players at different clubs. So, it just doesn't worry me anymore what other people think. I'm not there to please everyone.
Well, I would say with the amount of feedback you just gave on that question, it fucking worries you. Because that was a big answer. So you probably could have simplified it and just gone, yes.
I was just padding the interview for you.
Oh, dear. Now, in your mind, has Kenny Parker's legacy as admin been stained by his inability to control when match threads are posted?
Yes.
Righto. So what do you think? Do you think Kenny Parker's failed?
Oh, definitely.
So,
well, if not trying is failing, then he's definitely failed because, I mean, not only that topic, but just in general, he's the absent admin, really. He's a good delegator, though. He's delegated pretty much everything to Mang, so he's done well there.
So you're not impressed with Kenny Parker having taken the role of admin and basically just offloaded it?
Pretty much. And, yeah, all those things that he said he was going to do in his campaign, I don't think there's too many things that he's actually implemented. I'm still waiting for this reserves competition that was apparently going to be amazing.
Did you vote for Kenny Parker?
The Wonders did not, but we did not abstain this time. We voted for Baz.
Abstaining? Seriously, when clubs abstain, isn't that a soft cock?
Well, that was before my time, but Clarkey still thinks it's pretty funny that the Wonders abstained the previous vote.
Well, abstaining is a bullshit. That's just sitting on your hands and you just get what you get. Why wouldn't you make a statement and just say, that's what I'm going for? So you wanted Barry Brand?
Well, that was the decision that the club made.
The club?
That was when Moz was still around.
So what you're saying is that Cadsky was decided that he wanted Barry Brand?
Pretty much, yeah.
And you were all bitches and followed him?
Yeah. Well, the other options, they weren't... Well, a couple of the other options weren't great, so...
So what did you make of ND's reign then?
Well, so I came in, would have been his second season, I think. And obviously everyone bags him out, but at least he was around. At least he might not have, been the greatest admin. Obviously I don't know what happened before my time, which is not very long, but he was always around. He was always, approachable, all that sort of thing. So I didn't think he did a terrible job.
So who would you think would be the best admin coming forward? And not your team, you. Who would you want to see? Not saying they're electing, but who would you want to see as the next admin?
Well, I think Mang would be the best man for the job, but I don't know whether he'd put his hand up for it again, although he's doing the job pretty much now, I think.
So you like Mang?
Well, we had a bit of a falling out when I left the Demons, but I still respect him and think he's very good.
All right, look.
He's very good at what he does.
Have a look at the doll again. Point to where he touched you.
No comment.
Righto.
But I don't think Moz would be a great admin. and he'll hate me saying it, but he's apparently going to run next time around, and I don't think that would be a good choice for the competition.
What, you think he hasn't got the ability or capability, or do you think he's just taking a piss take?
Well, he reckons he's serious about it, but I don't think he's the right person.
Based on what?
He may prove me wrong, but at this stage, I don't think he's the right person for the job.
But based on what?
He's probably a bit more flaky than me.
So you don't reckon he's got the strength to be the admin?
No, I think he pleases everyone. He wants to be loved, and I don't know whether he has the strength to do the job.
So why do you think he wants to be admin? What do you reckon his motivation is then?
Self-promotion.
Purely self-promotion?
I think so.
And do you think other admins...
I think it's all about him, isn't it?
Do you think other admins have been in the same boat, or do you think this would be a one-off?
Well, as I said, I only know two, and if KP's second time round, I don't know what his first reign was, but if his second time round was about self-promotion, then I don't think he's achieving it because he's obviously unsighted, so that makes it hard to be self-promotion. ND, I think from what I could see, I thought he had the competition's best interests at heart. Mightn't have always made the right decisions, but I think he was trying to do the right thing by everyone or by the competition.
Round 9, Wanderers versus Bears. Do you remember that?
I do.
Got a bit testy, didn't it?
It did at times, yeah.
There are accusations that your club has gone downhill since your best player, Golemless, has left for the Royals, and that your team didn't contribute to the thread at all, and that your club needed a health check. Now, Senior M stated the Wanderers are inactive and need of outside assistance. So, is it time to fold the Wanderers and go back to 12 teams and get rid of the bye?
I think it's time to fold Senior M, probably. He was just trying to get a reaction, and obviously he didn't get what he wanted. So I think it's a bit rich for the Bears to be calling other teams inactive or needing help or that sort of thing. So
do you agree Golemless is your best player?
Well, no disrespect to Golemless because he's been around a long time and apparently he's done some great things. But in the time that I was at the Wonders, he was pretty much inactive. So it wasn't a great loss, I don't think, for us as far as posting goes.
So you think the Bears have been a bit harsh on you?
Oh, I think, they've got to look at why some of our people don't be in a match thread with them. They just don't find the Bears engaging. They find them a bit, there's some good people there as well, but there's a couple obviously that are just, agitators and for whatever reason the match thread just didn't go very well, so that happens.
And would you put that down to Senior M?
Oh, he obviously contributes to...
Don't say contribute, just name and shame. Would you say without Senior M the Bears would be a far better team? Or is there other players in there as well? So what are you saying?
There's the two, obviously.
Who's the two?
Him and Super Sons.
Oh, your best buddy.
My best buddies.
All right, so if you got rid of Senior M and Super Sons from the Bears, do you reckon that would increase the Bears' popularity by 60%, 70%?
Oh, probably...
100%?
200.
200?
Yeah.
So why do you reckon the Bears put up with two arseholes then?
I really don't know, because they've got a really, really nice people and good posters there, but maybe there's some pictures of Tony or the Moose that they don't want to get released that is holding them back from letting go of those guys.
So do you think as captain, if you could have a conversation with Tony, you'd probably say you need to dump these fucking weights? They're dragging the Bear brand down. There's no fun in Las Vegas.
Well, they take a lot of the fun out of Vegas. So there is, I suppose, as you said, there's a place for agitation and banter and that sort of thing. But I think when it gets personal and petty, there's not really much point to it.
So basically, for the sake of the SFA, Tony should punt Senior M and Super Sons, you reckon?
I think it wouldn't be a bad idea.
More personal question.
Yeah.
When you eat cheese in public, do you feel excited, turned on, or just weird and perverted?
Well, I feel a bit like a cannibal, obviously, but it's something I prefer to do in private, to be honest.
No doubt. But there'd be a website that people pay a lot of money to watch that shit, I reckon.
You can definitely find some of that on the dark web.
I would imagine so. Do you think Denny D, captain of the Gumbies, should make
also known as Denied,
should make a public apology to the Ophidian old boys for going on a drunken rampage at our S34 Best and Fairest night, and also apologise to the committee members and the SFA at large for making a dick of himself by wasting the committee's time bringing the game into disrepute charge against the old boys, which had no substance, and it was laughed out. What do you think? Do you think Denny D should man up, put it to rest, and apologise, Gumbies, to old boys?
Wow. Okay. So you want me to take your side or his?
Whichever side you think is right.
Yeah, I think as much as I loved, like in my first season, Dr. Den, as he was obviously then known, was someone that I reached out to and got some help from and that sort of thing.
Is there anyone you didn't reach out to, you slut?
There was a couple of people, but yeah, not many. But
anyway, carry on. But you
in this case, I don't believe he handled the situation very well.
No, it was pretty sad, wasn't it?
And I did see his complaint, and
it was silly, wasn't it?
It was on the silly side, yes. Yeah,
it was totally ridiculous. So, Denny D, I'm telling you, because I'm a generous person and I'm a lover and I really want us all to get on, if you will make a thread where the Gumbies apologise to the Ophidian old boys for the stupid shit you did back then, I'll let this go. Now, it's time for Fact or Crap, the intellectual game show that allows SFA players to show how thick they are. Have you been keeping up with the Fact or Crap, Joe?
I did listen to the Mods Cadsky one, yes.
And how
it didn't go too well.
Do you remember what his score was?
3, was it?
It was 3, like pathetic 3. The lowest we've ever scored is 3. Like, it's the bottom of the barrel. And the other funny thing is for you,
Horry's in the group,
and Clarky M are both on 3. Yeah, exactly right. So if you can beat 3 today, you're at least the smartest of the Wonders. Like, at least the smartest of them. So but you want to beat Cadsky anyway. Remember, the old girls, Ligma and Mrs. Turbo, they set the bar at 5.
Did they copy off each other?
No, they had 5 questions each.
Oh. I haven't listened to that one yet, to be honest.
Oh, you need to listen because you would have been a bit smarter for today. But anyway, they got 5 out of 10, which is, when you think about it, it's fact or crap. So it's a 50-50. So what they did was prove the odds, which is, doesn't matter what you answer, you'll get half right.
That's the laws of probability.
Absolutely right. And that's why Cadsky and Horry and Clarky M are such fucking idiots, because they actually went against what would just be a normal.
Yeah.
Well, they made conscious decisions to be dumb. So
I shouldn't laugh because I haven't had my turn yet.
You got to beat 3. Righto. Now, what I want to do though is I'm going to help you along for today. I'm going to ask you questions only from your area of expertise. So you good with that?
Yeah.
Righto. Here we go. Fact or crap. And don't do what Mrs. Turbo did. Fuck, she kept trying to talk about bloody the question and want to know the rationale. So, here we go. The oldest known cheese discovered is 3,000 years old. Fact or crap?
Fact.
It's crap. It's 3,200 years old.
Isn't that close enough?
No, the question was 3,000 years. It's 3,200, and it was from Egypt.
Bloody pyramids.
I'm telling you, you've already got the first one wrong. You're doomed. Righto.
Yep.
First one wrong, which means 50-50, you'll get the next one right. Greece are the largest consumers of cheese worldwide.
Crap.
Oh, fuck. It's a fact!
Oh!
The average Greek consumes 27.3 kilograms of cheese every year. Every year. 27 kilos of it.
Shit.
I'll tell you what, Cadsky...
I'm going to go worse than me mates.
Cadsky and Clark M and Horry are all pumping fists right now. I know Mrs. T and Ligma will be happy because I know you can't catch them. All right, here we go. This is all cheese questions, mate. How can you not know this shit?
Disappointing.
Righto, you'll know this one. Cheese production around the globe is more than it's more than the combined production of coffee, tobacco, tea and cocoa beans.
That's crap.
It's a fact, you idiot. It's a 50-50 and you got the first three wrong. Oh. And I gave you questions in your area of expertise, you dick.
I don't know myself very well.
Righto, this one, you got to know this one. The world's most expensive cheese is made with llama milk.
That's a fact.
It's crap, it was a donkey, you dickhead! In Pule, the milk of a Balkan donkey is what they do in Siberia. It's $600 a pound. Everybody knows that.
Donkeys.
Donkeys.
Oh,
It's $600 a pound. Don't you ever
That's
check the
expensive.
price of your cheese?
I can't afford that.
Well, unfortunately for you, my friend, you're already four in. You're four deep, and you haven't got a fucking single one right. God, and I gave you these cheese questions thinking you'd get 10 out of 10 and go back to Wanda's fucking bragging. Halfway point, number 5.
Honestly.
You get this one. This is obviously not... Yeah, here we go. I'm trying to help.
Tell me what it is.
I'm trying to help you. Here we go. I just want you to get one right. Mozzarella cheese. You know mozzarella cheese?
Yes, yes.
Righto. Is the biggest selling cheese variety in the US.
That is fact.
What makes you say that?
It's on all the pizzas.
What's the second best cheese in America?
Oh, you only asked the first one.
No, well, I'm just interested to see whether you got what the second one would be.
Second one would be the processed shit. American.
Yeah.
What? They wouldn't call it American cheese. Cheddar?
Cheddar, you got it.
Yeah. Do I get
Well
a bonus
done.
point?
No, you don't. But you're all over that question. So
I'm on the board.
So you have 1 out of 5.
No, isn't that? Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, ooh, yeah. So at the moment, the next 5, you only get 1. That's 2. You actually be the dumbest ever on this show.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and you do not want to be the dumbest on it. Especially
I don't want to be dumber than Moz.
No, and especially about the topic of your fucking knowledge.
I know. And I chose it too.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Righto, here we go. Maybe you're going to... Now you've got your one right, you're up. You're on the
My
launch.
confidence is definitely back now.
Here we go.
Yeah.
French President de Gaulle asked, how can I govern a country which has 246 varieties of cheese?
Is that the end of the question? That is
Yeah.
a fact. He said that
Why do you say it?
because he was trying to be ironic.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It is a fact. See, you're there. You're on the line now.
I've woken up.
I reckon you can get all these right now, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can get 6 and actually beat Ligma and Mrs. T and be the smartest, thickest prick in the SFA at the moment.
Cool.
You'd love that title.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see how we go.
Well, let's see how you go with this one. A giant wheel of cheese was given to Queen Victoria for a wedding gift.
That is fact.
How do you know that's a fact?
I've heard it before.
You know your stuff then. We're back on the cheese, righto.
Yeah.
As of S35, round 10, you've kicked 41 quals.
I do know this because I looked it up the other day. I've kicked 40 goals, 31.
It is a fact. I'll let you have it, because that puts you on top of Cadsky and Horry and Clark M. So that gives you 4. So you got 2.
2 to go.
1 to equal the Ligma and Mrs. T, so be equal smart, and 2 to be the smartest. So here we go. 1 ring at the base of a tree always equals 1 year of a tree's growth.
Oh.
Come on.
Crap.
What'd you say?
Crap.
It is crap.
Yeah.
You are now equal with Ligma and Mrs. T for being the smartest dumb prick in the SFA.
That's
And-
just for this season, though.
This season, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
not the all-time
Serial
records.
Thriller got 10 out of 10. You're not even in the same ballpark.
No.
But what you got now is the chance to be the smartest, thickest prick for this season and set the bar. So you ready?
Yep.
It's a cheese question. I hope you haven't got... Have you opened up cheese questions on your
I have
computer?
not opened up cheese questions, no.
Righto. Eating cheese before bed can help you sleep.
Crap.
It's fact!
Oh!
Oh, you just fucking licked me and Mrs. T are now pumping! Righto. Well, the good news is... No, it doesn't. According to the British Cheese Board, the high amount of amino acids in cheese actually helps settle you. It stops you. It makes you sleep quicker.
Oh, I need to eat some cheese before I go to bed.
So, I'm telling you. But the good news is you're the smartest, thickest prick at the Wanders.
And the equal for the season.
And equal for the season. And you've annihilated Cadsky.
Yes.
So...
That's the main thing.
Job done. Righto. Here's one question I know you can answer. Who'd you like to see in the hot seat next?
Falconista.
Falconista, the Gumbies.
The new co-captain of the Gumbies.
Fucking
that stepped in when
co-captains.
Denied went missing.
Well, Falconista, get ready for some co-captain questions because it's bullshit. So, are you going to change your co-captaincy model after this show?
I'm about to send Frothy's a PM and sack him, I think.
Oh, just make him VC and make him feel good. Righto.
I'll tell him that you told me to do it.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'll hide behind you.
I'm happy with that. Righto. You heard it, Falconista! Have you got the cojones to sit in the hot seat and take the heat? This is Tiger Turbulence, making it even hotter in the SFA.